Scanning. Identity authorized. Welcome to the Secret Superhero Club Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
Drink it. Let's see, it's 8:45 right now.
You're an old man in like Middle Ages years.
Yeah. So I live in the Middle Ages.
Frosty Coca-Cola just got popped open. Ooh, that sounded delicious and refreshing. I was so disappointed.
I drink it like that, it gives me the burpees.
The other night when we went to the theater to see Moana, and I found out that theater doesn't have Coca-Cola.
It's like, I'll take a Jack and Coke. Like, we don't have Coke. Is Pepsi okay? No. I just like this. Like, you're like, no, it's not. It's not okay.
I don't understand that question. Clearly, you're either Coke or Pepsi.
I didn't say Jack and Pepsi.
Well, first of all, I didn't say Jack and Coke. I said rum and Coke. Bacardi and Coke specifically.
Bacardi and Coke, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah, Josh.
Is it alcohol in Coke? Yes, it's alcohol.
Yeah, no, it's not the same because you put tequila in Coke and it's gross.
No, you put the lime in the Coke, you nut. Welcome to episode 18.
That was a beautiful segue.
Yeah, welcome to episode 18 of the Animation Station Podcast.
He's Josh, I'm Gavin.
I'm Spec.
Oh yeah, Spec. I forgot. You're so forgettable, Spec.
Master forget Spec's name.
So, episode 18. This is a biggie.
It's our Beauty and the Beast episode.
Yeah, featuring our Beauty and the Beast giveaway.
I'm sorry, I've got the burpees with the Coke. You gave me the
man.
Burpees, Gavin.
It's okay, man. That caffeination.
Okay, so let's see. Today is Black Friday.
Yep, as we record.
We
Black
watched
Friday.
Moana on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure and go listen to that spoiler-free Moana episode.
Yep.
And let us know if you guys want us to have a spoiler episode. And we can tell you exactly every scene that Josh did not like.
Every single scene. There wasn't that many scenes, actually.
And he can tell you the scenes that Josh did like. Josh really only didn't like one scene.
Right.
But that was a major scene for him.
Yeah.
And what he thinks could have been better.
Indeed. So we watched Moana, and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. We had a good time talking about it afterwards. And tonight we watched Beauty and the Beast.
We did.
And I'm excited to get into that because it's the 25th anniversary, so it's kind of a major deal. And we're doing our giveaway, which you'll have to stay tuned until the very end of the episode to find out if you won. But we're doing that. And before that, Josh, we got a little something we're going to talk about? Some news?
Yes, we got some news.
Tidbits, some items?
Not a whole bunch came out this week. We did get a release date for Coco.
Yes, I
which
saw
is going
that.
to be November 22nd, 2017.
Right.
We still only have that one.
Yeah, we just have a logo, basically, right?
We have that. We have the logo, and I think we have like one image.
Oh, I haven't
of, like,
seen
him
any
with
imagery.
a guitar.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Or there's a guitar there. There may not be a guitar. I don't know. I could be getting my things mixed up. But I think there's like one image that they've released.
Cool.
And like I said, all we know with that one is the movie's going to be in color. Because
right.
I assume, considering
the logo
is in color.
Yeah.
We did also have the mid-season finale of Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Oh, Josh, how you hanging in there?
And the fandom lost their goram minds,
they
Gavin.
Sure did, according to you.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it because it hasn't been 2 weeks.
Right.
But if you're on Instagram, it's been spoiled. It was spoiled day of.
Wow. So traumatic events happening on Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Yeah, I know. People.
Were you traumatized, or were you like, okay,
here's the thing.
I ain't worried.
I'm 27, and I know I'm.
He's a man.
I'm a man. I'm 27. Can't really do a Mike Gundy, but not 40 yet. You can do it. You can be a man.
I'm not there
40.
yet. Be quiet. Keep going.
But yeah, it's one of those. I've been around the block. I know how like these love story season things go.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever characters, have like a tension between each other, and then one of them gets a date, and then the other one doesn't. And the other one likes the other one, and they're beginning to realize their feelings and starting to get jealous. And it's like, oh no.
Is this a Zach Morris, A.C. Slater, Kelly Kapowski kind of a scenario?
Time out, guys.
Here?
No, just do time. See, you ruined the timeout
Nice.
because you started laughing.
Sorry, it was funny.
If you'd have been like, ha!
It was funny. I'm
and
sorry.
then we're like, time in, and then you start laughing again. It would have worked.
Yes.
But yeah, it's one of those. You just gotta wait. Like the whole Marco and Jackie thing. It's not gonna last. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll be your counselor.
Come to Josh.
I'll be Dr. Josh, PhD.
Lay on the cartoon couch.
Yeah, and
let your problems flow free.
We should have a call-in segment where we call it the Cartoon Couch, and you can call in and be like, "Oh, so what's bugging you in your fandom right now?"
Right.
I think we should do that.
Okay, you're gonna be Dr. Josh, and you're gonna run that segment.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
Everybody.
And it's gonna be called "Just Call You on Your Cell Phone."
Yeah, my number. No. But yeah, watching this, and I keep thinking, and you haven't watched Star yet. You've watched the first episode.
The first episode, yes, which I thought was delightful.
I'm hoping maybe we get a little bit of a crossover. Because
between that and what?
Gravity Falls.
Seriously?
Because they're kind of in the same universe. Like,
because they're both on Disney XD?
They're both on Disney XD, so that helps. But Marco has a several times sticker in his locker.
Really?
Yeah. And in this last episode, Bon Bon the Birthday Clown, there's a picture of the Mystery Shack.
No way.
Yeah, it's it doesn't say Mystery Shack. It's like, you haven't got there yet.
What if this is like an Avengers scenario where they're doing these solo movies to build up to a big blockbuster ensemble cast movie?
So this ensemble cast movie is gonna be Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Gravity Falls, Sophia the First, The Lion Guard, and Jake and the Neverland Pirates all together.
Yes. Epic force,
that would be the.
Wait, is Sophia on XD?
I don't know. It's Disney though.
I don't think she's on XD.
Lion Guard's not on XD. It's
those don't. I'm just talking about the Pines family and Star and Marco.
XD people. That's the only one. I don't know anything else that's on. I think there's a peanut butter jelly thing or a peanut. I don't know. Peanut with a headband. The thing that kind of looks like Gumball.
Interesting. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's all right. Because you're an old man.
What else you got?
That's all I got.
Wait.
It's all my news.
The biggest thing of all happened this week, Josh.
I died a little inside.
The Cars 3 teaser came out this week.
I died a little inside.
You neglected to mention it in your news segment.
Yeah, because it's not news. Because you went on about it. You interrupted the Moana podcast to be like, Josh Kane, the Cars, it was big. You did that. You already got your chance.
It wasn't an interruption. It was a sidebar, and it was delightful.
Oh, Lord.
It was.
Okay. Go ahead. Talk about your cars, lightning.
No, I'm done.
Lightning race car.
That's it. There's nothing to talk about yet.
The tow truck thing and
we're good.
The car that's dead. Spoilers. You spoiled that for me. I didn't know Doc died.
Whatever.
And then I didn't see Cars 2.
We're gonna watch both of those movies.
And I didn't see Planes.
Before we see.
And I didn't see Planes 2.
Okay, they don't really have anything to do with Cars at all, but with the exception that Mater was in like the teaser trailer announcing the movie, but they really don't have anything to do with Cars.
Okay.
I know, I own both of them.
All right, so Gavin, tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, as mentioned already, we're going to be talking about Beauty and the Beast. And it was, when was the anniversary? Was it Wednesday?
I don't know, dude.
I can't remember. This week was the 25th anniversary of the release of this movie. It was also today, as we're recording, is the anniversary of Aladdin.
That one I cared about.
Yesterday, I think it was Tangled's anniversary. So there's been a lot of movies released by Disney around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, capitalize on
Thanksgiving. It's a big weekend. A lot of them end up being holiday releases. And then in the 90s, a lot of them were summer releases, like starting with Lion King, I think, was summer, and then a bunch of the ones following were summer releases. But anyway, Beauty and the Beast, 25 years old. That makes me feel old because I remember very well going to the theater and seeing that a couple times.
Did you get an adult ticket or a matinee ticket? I mean, a child's ticket.
I probably was. Well, I don't know where the cutoff is. Where's the cutoff?
It's like 13.
Well, this was 1992, so that was the year that I was 13 going on 14. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, no, you would have been 14.
When this came out, yeah, I would have been 14. You're right.
You were an adult.
Yeah, adult.
An adult ticket.
I'm old.
Aww.
And I do remember that the first time I went and saw it, I saw it with some friends and with my friend and his family. And there was some malfunction with the projector for about the first 30 seconds. So the whole like stained glass window scene is all we missed. And they let us just stay and watch it again right after because of that malfunction. So on opening day, I watched it twice in the theater, twice in a row. So I thought that was pretty cool.
They just wanted you to stay for the opening scene. They probably wanted you to get out after that. So you saw a movie for free. You were a little line hopper. I would have thrown you out.
I was just following my friend's mom. She said we had permission to do it. So
she really didn't. The theater never actually gave her permission. She was just like, we're just going to see it again.
That's hilarious. That could have been. But in my little kid mind, or manly 14-year-old mind, I remember thinking, cool, we scored another watch. It was awesome. So anyway, 25 years have gone by, and this movie has become legendary, and many of the people who worked on it have become legendary. And just looking at the crew and even the cast, it's pretty epic looking back. At the time, it wasn't necessarily known how big a lot of these people would be, but so like we said, it actually came out in 91. So yeah, I would have been 13. I said 92 a minute ago, but that was Aladdin.
Oh, well.
91,
you're
so
a child.
13. Anyway, nobody cares. So, movie is directed by Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise. The executive producer is Howard Ashman, who also shared music duties with Alan Menken. Menken and Ashman, obviously the famous songwriting duo that gave us the songs for Aladdin, gave us some work on, obviously they did Little Mermaid, they did the musical Little Shop of Horrors together. They're amazing. Sadly, Howard Ashman died 8 months before this movie came out. Oh. So he did not get to see it in its final version. He saw like pre-finished versions of it, but tragically, he passed away 8 months before the release. So this movie was actually dedicated to him in the closing credits. I don't know if you saw that or if we stopped it by then.
We stopped it.
Yeah, because we wanted to listen to Moana songs, so we did that. Because he didn't want to listen to Celine Dion and Peebo Bryson.
I like Celine Dion in the Titanic song.
Yeah,
and My Heart Will Go On. That's like the only one.
That was actually one of her first big domestic hits, was the cover of Beauty and the Beast on this movie. So it was one of the things that helped propel her to
get her out of Canada.
American stardom. Indeed, yes. Okay, so talking more about legendary people who worked on this movie. Animators. The list of animation names on this is epic, to say the least. I'm just going to name a few of the most famous ones, the people who are well known still today in animation circles. So obviously Glenn Keane, probably the greatest animator of our time. I don't know. I think a lot of people would rank him up there. He did Little Mermaid, he did The Beast, he did Pocahontas, he did Aladdin. he did like so many iconic characters, and they're all just exquisitely done.
Is that what you guys call it in your circles? Is it like San Francisco? You just call it the Beast. So it's not Beauty and the Beast. You said it's the Beast.
No, he was the character animator for the Beast.
Just the Beast. He
didn't
do Belle.
No, somebody else did Belle.
Or who did Chip?
I have no idea who did Chip.
Oh. Who did the dog?
Quiet down, Spec.
Who did the dog? Okay.
Also working on this film are such animators as Andreas Deha, James Baxter, Will Finn, both Tony and Tom Bancroft, Aaron Blaze, James Coleman worked on backgrounds. He's a now famous Disney fine artist. Mark Henn worked on this. Lisa Keene worked on this. The list goes on and on and on. The name, I was reading through the names and I was like, I could list dozens of people that are just, they're basically legendary in animation circles now. And a lot of them were in many ways cutting their teeth on this movie. A lot of them were young and just starting out in the industry, and went on to do all those great movies that we did in the 90s. Bros? Yeah, man, they're awesome. And if you guys aren't listening to their podcast, you need to tune in because it's great.
Check them out on Instagram too.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so it also features the very first screenplay written by a woman for a Disney feature animated film. The final screenplay was done by Linda Wolverton, so that was significant. It's also the first animated film ever to get the Oscar nomination for Best Picture. It did not win, but it was nominated.
You know,
that's a pretty impressive thing. 91? I don't remember what won that year. Do you, Josh?
I was 3. I don't know.
I didn't know if maybe you were like a film buff and you knew all the awards.
No, see, my thing is, I know, like, if I see a movie once, I'll more than likely remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like, what wins anything. The only thing I remember is I think at one point the third Lord of the Rings had like the most wins out of any movie.
Yeah, they're probably all special effects and
pretty
technical.
much.
Nobody was up for Best Actor.
Well, what they got, I don't know, probably Vigo.
I doubt it.
But yeah, it's one of those, like, they got snubbed the first 2. So they were like, well, it's the last one, and they made a lot of money. They're super popular. Awards!
Awards! Here you go. Best Orc Army goes to...
dude, leave the orcs alone, man.
Sorry. Anyway, so this movie, there's a lot of like things that happen in the production of this movie as far as historical, momentous animation things. So this was kind of the fledgling relationship between Disney and Pixar is happening at this point. Pixar is kind of just finding their footing. Up to this point, they're doing mostly commercials and, some short films for exhibition, but they're not really...
So are they doing a lot of the 3D stuff?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
So are they the ones that are responsible for that awesome scene?
Well,
with the chandeliers,
they're ones, yeah.
And the dancing.
Yes, that scene was provided by Pixar.
Awesome.
The set for that scene was provided by Pixar. Yes. Okay, so as Pixar began building this relationship with Disney, one of the things they did, and which was used on this movie and it was used on Rescuers Down Under for the first time, is they provided them this software called CAPS. And what CAPS did was basically allow them to use computers to simulate a greater range of color and shading. It helps them simulate the multiplane camera effect, which Disney pioneered back in the day, and which gives it that depth where you have the different layers. And it allowed them to actually combine 2D elements with 3D elements, which, back to that ballroom scene, allowed them to seamlessly integrate, the two dancing figures into that CG scene. So, it was a really big deal because it really kind of formed what became that ongoing relationship of Disney and Pixar, and, has really changed the world of animation after that, and we all know what Pixar went on to do. So, there's just so many legendary things about this movie, and, it has really, in a lot of ways, stood the test of time. Walt toyed with ideas of doing Beauty and the Beast right after Snow White. So it is another one kind of like Frozen, where as far as the 30s, they were thinking about doing, and it just never kind of came to fruition until the 90s. But it finally did, when they finally went back to fairy tales, starting with Little Mermaid, and I'm glad they did. It's an epic piece.
What killed it again? Oh, it was
Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty was a financial failure for them, so they went away from fairy tales for many, many years. From 59 all the way to 89.
Man.
So, Josh Kane, you want to talk about Beauty and the Beast?
Sure.
Whatever. Get excited, man.
I can't.
You can't get excited about talking about animation?
Well, not this animation.
But
this animation didn't look good.
Okay.
I mean,
expound,
it's
please.
Going back, it is a thing of the times.
How so?
There are a lot of parts, especially with Belle,
mm-hmm.
that didn't look like. It looks like the animation style, like the art on it changed. Like her face, there were a couple scenes where her face wasn't the exact same as the way it had been in a previous scene, and she's doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she goes and whisks Beast away, and they're gonna they go, I don't know, start dancing or something, and she's just like, Arr! It looks just so weird. Her face just doesn't look right.
I think it's her mouth.
Yeah,
to me,
it's a bit. It doesn't work.
Her mouth
it's not
changes.
Proportioned.
Yeah, I agree. I think
that's probably what it is. And when I think of her mouth, like that includes her jawline and like all the half of
her
face,
lips
pretty much.
Change thickness quite dramatically several times, and her mouth shape in general throws off the shape of her face several times. There are moments where Belle is exquisitely beautiful, and I think she's a great looking princess. But I actually noticed the same thing when I watch Belle. That's to me the inconsistent main character, and I feel like her face does not always work.
Beast still looks BA.
Beast is BA.
I don't think I've seen this movie since I was probably 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
But like, when did it come out on VHS?
I mean, probably 92. Came out in the theater in 91, and.
Well, I don't know. I don't think VHSs are like they were back then. It probably came out in like 93, 94.
No,
I think it took a little bit
longer,
right?
They would come out within a year. I mean, it would usually be a full year, but they would come out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just remember getting it on VHS and then watching it on VHS when I was a youngin'.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, oh, well, the Beast looks cool, but I don't really care for Belle.
Yeah, I mean, I can see
Still
a little bit
Gaston.
of that. Gaston is awesome, man.
Fantastic.
I think his character design is great.
Who's his sidekick?
LeFou.
Did they just base Olaf off LeFou?
I mean,
because they look extremely similar.
I guess
if you
did a
side by side of Olaf and LeFou,
no,
and the way they act, almost the voice too. The voice almost too.
Well, interestingly enough, the guy that voices Olaf, Josh Gad, is playing LeFou in the new live-action movie. So you may be onto something there, but I don't know. I don't think looks-wise they're that similar.
Well, yeah,
besides the buck teeth,
snowman and one of them's a human.
Well, they're both super short and they both have buck teeth, but that's it. I mean, LeFou is like a sycophant. He's Gaston's yes man. Olaf is just kind of a mindless, wandering, hilarious snowman.
That's personalities. I'm saying on the looks.
Oh.
If you were to turn Olaf into a human, he'd probably look like LeFou.
No, LeFou is
Let
much
us know
rounder.
What you guys think in the
he's
comments.
Based on spheres, and Olaf has that weird, long, tall head. Yeah, no.
All the ancillary characters in this are fantastic.
Like Maurice?
Lumiere?
Oh, the furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Chip, Dog.
Ottoman Dog.
We had another awesome Disney horse.
Yeah.
Philippe.
Yeah, Philippe was cool. He's like a big Clydesdale. He's huge.
And Gaston's horse would look menacing. That big, huge black. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that whole Kill the Beast segment is impressive. I like it.
I like the Armoire.
Yeah, she was good.
She's great.
She was good.
Do we know who's playing her? Because Ellen could totally be her voice. And it would be
in
awesome.
The new movie? I don't know who's playing her. I don't even know if she's going to be in it. I mean, I would assume.
It should be Ellen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cast it.
That'd be cool.
Do it. Make it happen.
I'll call, who's in charge of Disney now?
Bob Iger's still in charge of Disney, yeah.
He's on his way out. Who's going to be
in like 2018.
It's going to be Lasseter?
I would not be totally shocked, but I kind of would be shocked. I think he wants to stay on the creative side.
Is it going to be you, Gavin?
No.
Could it be you?
I couldn't do that. That's too big of a job for me.
Oh,
I could be that guy's assistant, though.
Yeah, hey, if you guys are hiring down at Disney, I am a mean secretary. I mean, you want your calls, I will get your coffee.
Nice.
But yeah, like I liked all those characters. Yeah, Belle was a hit and miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there's a couple scenes where she's pretty good, and then there's a couple scenes where it doesn't fit. Like she's just weird. She does that classic overacting princess thing.
She is a little dramatic, like more than most princesses.
She doesn't listen. She's also not a princess.
Well, she ends up being.
She's
a
poor peasant girl.
Yeah. I mean, they all go off and do something. Like Jasmine runs away from the palace. Ariel freaking leaves the ocean. I mean, they all go do something they're not supposed to do. That kind of compels the story. It drives the story.
But it's like, okay, do one thing. Don't do one thing. Don't go to the West Wing.
It's classic.
Don't go see Michael Sheen.
It's classic.
Don't go see Rob Lowe. Just leave him alone.
It's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, man. It's the one thing you can't touch. What do you want to touch? The one thing you can't touch.
And then Lumiere and Cogsworth's like, books. Books, we got books. Come here, we got books. And she's like, oh, I like books. And then she goes and she's like, but
I like forbidden fruit more. And girls.
Then he does that whole thing. He's like she's arguing with him. And I'm like when he gets his cut, and she's like, well, you should have been this. He's like, well, you did this. And he's like, well, you should have been like this. He's like, well, you went to the West Wing. He's like, well, you have an anger problem. It's like, you still broke the rules.
Yeah, to be fair, his anger was justified in that moment.
Yes.
Maybe he didn't need to flip out as much as he did, but he was justified in being angry.
Yeah, but,
As the warden.
As the warden.
So, on the note of character design, I think the main characters are all really well designed in this movie. I think there are a couple of issues of consistency with that design style, but it's not much. I think the main characters all look pretty good. I agree with you that there are issues with Belle's face in many scenes, but I have a big problem with all of the extra townsfolk that they put in because it looked like very little effort was made to do anything with them, and they stuck a lot of them in there. And maybe it was just because they tried to stick so many that they couldn't put any time and effort into them.
What's the very first song, the Bonjour song?
I think it's called Bonjour.
Okay. When she, I think it's when she, grabs hold of the carriage and she's on the carriage.
Yes.
There's a character, a woman
walking towards the screen, and the carriage driver actually sings out to that character.
And she says, good day. And it's like, whoa.
And it looks like it's from a really cheap, Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it's
what
did they forget to put the finishing touches on you?
Yeah, so I find all those characters distracting. I don't like the scenes when we're in the town, except for the tavern scene where they sing that song about Gaston. That scene
Both of his songs are
my
awesome.
Favorite scene in the whole movie. It is so well done. I love it.
Yeah,
I think that scene's delightful. It gives you everything you need to know about Gaston, which you pretty much gather by that point anyway, but it just kind of drives it home.
Is he in the parks?
Gaston, yeah.
Yeah.
All the girls swoon over Gaston.
Oh, the Josh will swoon over Gaston, too.
Okay, I want to get pictures of that. That's hilarious.
Can I feel your muscles?
They have, built-in muscles in the costume.
Awesome. That's perfect.
So no matter who it is, he looks burly and brawny, just like Gaston.
When we go, I'll get a shirt made that says I Heart Gaston, and I'll get a picture with Gaston.
I like it. I like it.
Music-wise, the music in this, growing up, I've heard all these songs. I've heard these songs over and over.
Sure.
They don't really get old.
I agree. They're pretty timeless.
There had been some that I had forgotten about, but listening to it, I hadn't heard that Gaston, but when we're watching it, and I'm like, and I'm like, fights with Gaston.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, fights with Gaston. I was like, hey, I remember this song.
Yep, it's good stuff, man. You know, the original production of this movie was totally scrapped. They had been well into production when Jeffrey Katzenberger came in and, you know, basically saw the progress and said, no, we're scrapping this. And he's the one that said, this needs to be like a Broadway style musical. You know, they had that incredible success with Little Mermaid, and he's like, we need to continue this. We need to keep going, you know, strike while the iron's hot. And that's when they really told Menken and Ashman, you got to give this a musical punch. And, man, they really delivered. You know, they came in and, you know, created iconic songs. The Be Our Guest song, that's like straight out of Broadway, man. I mean, it's like, it's perfect. It's a great song. And then all those, the Bonjour song is very Broadway. You know, really all of them. I mean, it just has that musical feel to it. I definitely consider Beauty and the Beast a musical. And interestingly enough, it was the very first Disney movie to be turned into a Broadway musical in New York, which started a long tradition of that happening.
What came out after Beauty and the Beast?
Aladdin.
So after
Another
Aladdin.
musical. After Aladdin was Lion King.
Okay.
Another musical.
Not as heavy.
Not as heavy, but I still consider it a musical.
Yeah, I think that still has the best music to movie ratio as Lion King.
You like that?
Yes.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
And we'll expound upon that in our top 5.
Yes, we will.
But so we can both agree on this one. The music.
Yeah, music's top notch. It's very
spot
good.
on.
I think this was my runner up on Herbal Mention when we picked our Disney soundtracks.
Yeah.
It was real close for me.
What was our number 1?
It was Hercules.
It was Hercules. Yeah, that's right. It was Hercules.
You mean Hercules?
Bless my soul. Oh, anyway.
So I want to talk a little bit about we talked about the character look, but I want to talk about the set design and the background, the layout, and all that, because I think it's beautiful. Can I talk about that now? Mm-hmm. You sure?
Yeah, you're going to ask me something, and I'm going to make you mad. So.
No, I'm not going to ask you anything. I'm going to talk.
Oh. Okay.
So one of the cool things that Disney does on all of their feature animated films is they do research ahead of time. And what they did on this movie is
flew to France.
Their creative heads, yes, they went to France, and they studied specifically the paintings of romantic Rococo painters Fragonard and Boucher. Now, if you remember on our Tangled episode, we talked about Fragonard, and
he's the one that did the girl swinging.
Yes, yeah. Good job, Josh Kane. He can be taught.
And Boucher kicked the football, right?
No, Boucher is another romantic painter of a similar ilk.
Oh, no, wait, that was Rudy.
It's very interesting because Glenn Keane, was a lead animator on both projects, and in both of them he channeled Fragonard, which I think is very fascinating. And so they studied this genre of French painting, and what I love about this movie is I love looking at the backgrounds, because so many of those scenes, they're just paintings. They're just beautiful artistic paintings. They're not crisp cell animation style ink painting. They're like color washes, and they look like oil paints, and just broad strokes indicating trees and tree branches. And I just think it's really beautiful. It gave it a wonderful texture and warmth. And, I think the most striking scene is when Gaston shows up at Belle's house, and he's got the band out front, and they're going to play a little song
that's where you
walks her out after he proposes. Yeah, it's like this park-like atmosphere out around their house, and you see all these beautiful trees and the sunlight just pouring down upon them, and I just think it's wonderfully done. I love things like that Disney does. They're not afraid to give you different textures and different art forms when they're presenting something like this. They're not going to always dumb it down to, it's got to be cartoon trees, They can do very painterly things in the background, and it comes off beautifully. And I think that is one of the things that makes this movie a real classic.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
Talking about going back a little bit to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I have some questions.
Okay.
Trying to present this so I don't seem like that much of an idiot, but some of these characters, they're confusing to me. Like,
because some had faces and some didn't.
No. Yes.
That confuses me.
Yes. But here's the thing: is everybody in the Beast's castle? Are they like all of those dishes and everything? Were they all humans?
Yeah, it's not explicitly explained. This is what I feel. I feel like the ones that had faces and voices were actual servants of the prince in his castle that were cursed along with him. The rest is just enchantment. So when you have, so many plates with faces, okay, they are probably kitchen staff. But then the rest of the plates are just enchanted plates, and they can fill the dancing scene.
Well, because I only ask because there's that. Like, the reason it made me even think about it was when Mrs. Potts takes Chip to the cupboard, and she's like, "Go in with your brothers and sisters." And I was looking at like all those cups have eyes that are like closed.
Right.
And I was like, "Wait, are those all kids?" And what happened to Chip? What happened to him?
He got dropped.
Apparently, does he have like brain damage now? What happened to Chip?
Yeah.
And here's another thing: did Beast because he broke a lot of furniture?
Yeah.
Did he maybe break
You ever think
some
he stopped
servants?
to think, oh wait, is this somebody I know before I smash it?
Has he done that before?
Probably.
Is he like breaks a chair and he was like, "Oh, Maurice!"
That's what I thought when in that first scene when you go into the West Wing and it's
there's
all dark and it's just crushed furniture everywhere.
And there's that poor chair and he just takes it and throws it across the room.
And I thought, the humanity.
Is that it's so messed up. It's
it does look
what
like
happened?
Some major potential carnage happened in that room. But again, I think most of the furniture, plates, accessories, things, if they don't have faces or voices, they're just enchanted plates and objects. I think it's really just there's a limited staff that works at the castle, and we met all of them.
Unless, like, at the end, were all of those staff?
I think that's more likely, other people involved in celebrating them.
It's like none of those
the
people,
castle doors are open because
none
he's
of those people
found
were
warmth.
townspeople.
Who knows? I mean, they don't all. None of them look all the same.
Well, the townspeople look stupid.
They really do, don't they?
Yeah, they look dumb. I mean, there's.
But even in the town, man, I don't know if you looked at the buildings and the street and just the textures on all of those environments were so well done. That's what I end up looking at in those scenes because all the townsfolk are just like, eh. They're not like in their very next movie in Aladdin. They do it so much better
because
like all
the people
those
in Frozen. Because the people in Frozen look stupid too, like the townsy people. They look dumb.
Yeah, I think it's probably at some point got to become a priority for the production of a movie like this, and at some point they're saying, okay, we either need to just nail these townspeople because they're an important focal point, or these townspeople are just background anyway and we're not going to worry about them that much. And I think in different movies they make different choices, where in Aladdin I thought they did it a lot better because a lot more of them come into the story and interact directly with the main characters than they do in this.
Yeah. And
so, I don't know. Again, that's one of the things that I don't like about this movie. There is very little that I don't like about it, but that's one of them. And so, like I said, I look at the backgrounds instead during those scenes because they're exquisite.
And I have another problem with Gaston.
Oh, what? Don't let him hear you say that.
No, here's my problem with Gaston. He wants Belle, and I'm like, brah. Like, you've seen her face. Her face doesn't work all the time. Like, her mouth's all over the place. Her lips are weird. Just stay away from her. Now, you have what are they called in Hamilton?
The Schuyler sisters?
He's got the Schuyler triplets over here.
Yeah, the blonde
that
triplets.
Are like, oh, Gaston.
Mm-hmm.
And like, bro.
Yeah.
3 for the price of 1. Yeah. That one doesn't like you, and you're trying hard. You've gotten muddy like 3 times.
That's so true.
Just forget her. Go after those 3.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
that's
probably a better deal for him. Definitely a better deal than he got, because he plummeted to certain death.
Maybe.
No.
There was a river down there.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast 2. Gaston gets up and he's like, God!
You see the hand climb up out of the edge of the river and grip the shore.
This was also a very bloody Disney movie.
There was actual blood in it, yes.
Twice.
And that makes it pure carnage on the Disney scale.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of another Disney animated movie with blood?
Well, you said movie, and I couldn't think of a movie. I think of a show.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Disney feature films. I'm trying to think. Surely there is somewhere, but I can't think of one.
I mean, there's gotta be.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
I can't think of anything.
We'll have to ponder that. If we come up with something, we'll...
There's that part in Pocahontas.
What part?
I don't know.
Good job, Josh Kane.
I was just making something
Excellent.
up.
Excellent work.
I was trying to think of something where there were guns and arrows involved.
On this show, you're our ace reporter.
Yes. Like Bill Hader in that one skit where he's like the old man.
Mm-hmm. Shoving the microphone up against their face.
People. It's like...
Oh, that's awesome. So, I want to talk about the Beast and his transformation back into the Prince.
What's the Beast's name?
Well, first of all, he's not named, and we looked this up before we started recording. He's not named in the movie at all, or the script, or anything. And apparently there was a CD-ROM trivia game that came out some years after the movie that apparently names him Adam, which I find very interesting. And I find it interesting because Glenn Keane, animated him as the Prince as well. And, he's very astute, and he knows his classical art history. And to me, he has a striking resemblance to Michelangelo's statue of David. I think when he comes down from that, you see like his nose, and you see when they do that shot of his hand and then his feet, very much like David. But then also it reminds me of the Sistine Chapel. The one shot that's the most famous is God reaching down and giving Adam the spark of life, and it's their fingers about to touch, and his hand there and his forearm remind me very much of what we see in this. And to me, it just screams like, oh my gosh, this guy he knows, he is a great artist, and all the great artists study each other and learn from each other and mimic, and that knowledge of the human form and how to represent it so beautifully and romantically just comes out in that scene. And so to me, when he becomes a man again, it screams Adam. Or not Adam, it screams David, but it also speaks a little to Adam as well. So I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know if that's what they're going for.
Maybe we'll get an actual name in the live action.
Yeah, maybe.
What do we say
sure.
his name should be? His name should be
Should
Prince
be Harry.
Prince Harry. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But I think this movie is fantastic. I have my problems with it. I don't like that they hadn't gotten to a point with CG animation that allowed them to seamlessly bring in a scene like that ballroom scene and not have it. To me, it stands out like a sore thumb. It's way too slick and shiny and pristine and computery.
Oh, dude, in Be Our Guest, you have the exact same thing with those blue cups.
Yeah, you've got a lot of it going on in Be Our Guest, but it's so busy that you're not distracted by it. To me,
when it's doing like the wallpaper type thing, that like took me out of it.
Yeah, when
like,
they're all like dancing in opposite directions.
It was really bad. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, that one's not as bad for me, because to me the ballroom scene is this, slick CG scene, and then 2D hand-drawn characters dancing in it, and it just doesn't come off for me. I love the colors and the design of it and the lighting. It's the texture that is so different than the texture of the rest of the movie that catapults me out of that scene. And so I think they get better and better and better as they go. And then obviously now all they do is use computers. And so texturally, things look more consistent now. But, it was an important moment in animation history when they did that scene. It knocked the socks off a lot of people. It's one of the reasons why I got the nod for Best Picture, and I think they got a bunch of technical nominations. I know they won for Best Song. I think they won 2 Academy Awards. I can't remember what the other one was, but anyway, it's a phenomenal piece, really, and it continued that Renaissance era, and led us directly into Aladdin and then Lion King, which I feel is the peak of the Renaissance. I think that's their greatest.
Lion King?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you ready to talk some music?
We ready to rank this puppy first?
Yeah, let's do that first. Let's rate it.
You want to go
first?
Time.
I'll go first. Okay, so this one for me, out of 5 Jiminy Crickets, is a solid 4, which is pretty high on my scale.
Praise.
Yeah, not praise. But I think it's very, very solid. It's definitely in the top, 25% of all Disney feature animated films for me. But it's not quite that very top tier. It's just under that. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4.
Nice.
It's a solid 4 for me.
2 in a row that we're pretty much on the same rating for.
Well,
we're pretty much the same on Moana.
Here's the thing. Something was brought to my attention with Moana, and I was listening to that soundtrack today.
Yeah.
And soundtracks, I think it's great.
It is great. I agree.
Something was brought to my attention, and if I think of the movie this way, then Moana will, unfortunately, it will increase from a 3 to a 4.
Nice.
So,
that's
Moana,
good.
I've given it a retraction of my previous 3.
Awesome.
And it is now a 4 in my book.
Well, I'm excited to see it a second time. I think I mentioned this during our review, is that the first time I watch any animated movie, I'm so absorbed in the artwork and the visuals that I very oftentimes miss out on story and pacing and sometimes the music. But I'm going to see it again this weekend, and I'll have a more, well-rounded viewpoint of it.
Yeah.
So mine might change too, but I don't know.
I may see it this weekend. It depends.
Cool.
It's all kind of up in the air if I'm going to go or not.
All right.
Now, before we go into our top 5, I think we should go ahead and have our Beauty and the Beast Thanksgiving drawing.
Oh, yeah?
What do you think?
I mean, we did say at the beginning of the episode they have to wait till the end of the episode.
Well, it's a trick.
Oh,
See,
a trick.
We're tricking everybody.
I like tricks.
Because what they'll do is they'll listen.
They'll
be like,
fast forward.
They'll skip the episode. So if we put it in the middle.
Josh Kane, that's devious, and I love it.
What we should do is I should cut it into, all right, we're going to talk about Beauty and the Beast and our Thanksgiving winner. Yeah, it just cuts straight there, just in the middle of a sentence, just like boom.
Well, let's do it right now, man. Let's do it. Let's do a surprise drawing right now.
Now, first, Gavin, do you want to tell everybody what is in stakes?
Yes, included in the prize package, specially themed on Beauty and the Beast, is the 25th anniversary edition Blu-ray DVD combo pack. It is a Funko Pop of Lumiere, a Tsum Tsum of Cogsworth, and a special little piece of art. I think it's going to be Mrs. Potts and Chip.
Aww.
Just so that it kind of has the whole...
Have you done a Mrs. Potts and Chip before?
I never have before, so I think that's what I'm going to include. And also, of course, a first edition Animation Station button.
Yes.
So it's a pretty good prize package, guys.
Okay. I have a bunch in my hand. I'm going to throw them up.
Okay.
And you're going to grab one.
I'm going to grab one out of the air?
Grab one out of the
this
air.
is exciting. Okay.
You ready?
Yep. Got it.
Okay, and the winner is...
The winner is... This is great. At the voice of Tim Page. Tim Page is one of our podcast friends who's part of our network, and this contest was open to anybody, so he wins it. So congratulations, Tim.
Oh.
What, are you looking at losers now?
That was Leanne Crane. So sorry, Leanne. You can get that from Tim.
Well, everybody that entered that didn't win, they already know they lost, so if they're listening anyway. So, Tim, DM us and give us your mailing information, and we will send that your way. So, congratulations, sir.
Citizen Disney was also in the throw-up, but unfortunately did not win either.
All these people that were so close. Anyway, we had a lot of people enter, and we're very grateful
Why did I just
for
do that? I just
all of you.
crumpled that up and threw it on my floor, and now I can't find it. Dang it.
Josh, there are many things on your floor, so...
No, there's not. There's a Target. That's a Target bag.
Anyway, I'm trying to thank our wonderful listeners. Thank you guys for entering, for posting information about us on your feeds. We really appreciate that. It just helps us kind of spread the word, and then it allows us the chance to give back to you by sending you wonderful prize packages like this one. We're going to do many giveaways in the coming months, so keep listening for your chance to win. We'll probably change up the methodology each time so it doesn't get stale. But yeah, congrats, Tim. All right, top 5?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
And now for another top 5.
All right, this week on the top 5, we decided to do our top 5 Disney songs. Disney songs.
Yeah.
I did something a little bit different. What I decided to do was, because honestly, if this would have been my top 5, it just would have been Hercules and Lion King.
Okay.
That's all it would have been. So I tried to go and make sure that each song is from a different movie.
I'm proud of you, Josh.
I don't know if you did that.
Yes, mine are all from different movies.
Like I said, it would have been Hercules and yeah.
I basically went through and thought of every Disney or Disney Pixar movie and picked my favorite song from each and then ranked my top 5 out of that list.
Oh, so you have some Pixar movies in there, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, so I get to start it off this week.
Yep.
So my number 5 is from a movie I don't really like.
Really? Okay.
I don't like the movie, but the song is fantastic. It's from Phil Collins.
Yes.
And it's You'll Be in My Heart.
Oh, great
that
song.
That song is so good.
It really is.
I hate Tarzan. It's garbage.
And, I was not a fan of it when it came out. I have come around to many parts of it, but the soundtrack I've always loved.
I don't like monkeys and gorillas.
And skeletons, and we know you have weirdnesses,
yeah.
But that's a fantastic pick. Phil Collins, I didn't think Phil Collins was going to be right for a Disney soundtrack when they announced he was doing that movie. But then I got the soundtrack. It was one of the ones that I got before the movie came out. I instantly fell in love with it. The soundtrack is amazing on that.
I mean, Genesis, y'all.
Word. Good pick, Josh. Okay, my number 5 is a bona fide classic from 1946. This is basically runner-up to being considered the Disney theme song.
Oh, God.
It's Zippity Doo Dah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be the stupid one that the cricket sings.
Well, that's
your number 1, I know.
Anyway, written by Ali Rubel and Ray Gilbert and performed in the movie by James Baskett. It is also on the AFI list of the 100 greatest movie songs at number 47.
Is that?
The American Film Institute?
No. The movie.
Song of the South.
Song of the South?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Never seen Song of the South.
Most people of your generation or younger haven't, unless your family owned it before it was permanently taken off the shelf. Actually, that's how I've seen it, is the Japanese Laserdisc. My friend has a transfer onto DVD from the Japanese.
In Japanese?
No, it's subtitled in Japanese, so it's the English soundtrack.
That would be awesome to watch.
So you just see the kanji or whatever down below. And no, I think it's a wonderful film. I understand the tension about it, but let's not get sidetracked with that.
But the song
is iconic.
All right, so for my number 4,
okay,
I went to a little little movie called Mulan.
I knew you'd have some Mulan on there.
Which one do you think it is?
I think it's I'll Make a Man Out of You.
The one that I sing all the time, I'll Make a Man Out of You?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's actually Reflection.
Nice.
Only
That's the best song in the movie.
Only because...
Oh.
You have that, like, when she's singing the song, she's walking up and she's going to her ancestors' graves, and there's the polished stone.
Are they graves, or are they just, like, the
little
altars or
grave
memorials? Okay.
Yeah. And, like, she's walking past those, and you see her...
It's like the polished marble, and you see her
reflection through there, and she does that really cool thing where she's singing in front of it, and she takes her, I think it's like her kimono sleeve, and she, like, wipes half of it, and she's got half of her makeup face and half of her, unmakeup face. That right there is so... My only wish in that is that it, instead of would have been perfect, if it would have been smeared. Just like... Yeah. Where the crease is,
the border
if that would have been a little bit smeary, and like that would have been super cool. But I wasn't around.
You weren't around to advise.
I wasn't around to do that back then, because I would have been like, "Hey, do that."
That's another good pick. I think it's a fantastic song. Good job. All right, so my number 4 is from Pixar, and it's what I consider the Pixar theme song. It's from Toy Story. It's You've Got a Friend in Me by none other than Randy Newman. He also performs it in the movie, obviously. And he wrote and composed the music for that movie. He's done a lot of the Pixar scores even. He's kind of like their John Williams or their Danny Elfman. Like, he's done a lot of their music. So
okay.
Randy Newman. Great songwriter. Not the greatest singer.
I thought he was going to be higher on your list.
Really?
I thought Toy Story was going to be like number 2. Because I have an idea where your number 1 is.
Yeah. Well, this is a very, very tough list for me. I mean, all of these, like 2 through 5, are really kind of tied.
All of mine are Renaissance.
I'm not surprised by that.
That's all.
But that's fine. Great music during the 90s.
My number 3 going to be from Disney's Aladdin.
Ooh, nice.
It's going to be A Whole New World.
Excellent.
Yep. And you could have sang A Whole New World with, what's his face?
Brad Kane.
You could have sang A Whole New World with Brad Kane at D23.
Yep.
And you didn't.
I didn't.
You could have been Jasmine.
I didn't have the guts.
If he's there again, I will be Jasmine.
Okay. I will film it.
Actually, Liam. This is a challenge to Liam.
Yeah, he's the singer.
I want you to be my Aladdin. I'll be Jasmine.
Oh, okay.
I can't hit those notes, but I can falsetto the crap out of it.
Nice. I would really like to see this happen, actually. So we need to get you guys together. Maybe we do it in Aladdin's Oasis at Disneyland. Get you guys singing. Get a crowd around you. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait for this.
See, I'm trying to bury the hatchet. Bury the hatchet.
That's nice. I like it. Good pick. So, we're on 3, right? Okay, my number 3, I'm jumping back to the 60s. 1967's Jungle Book, The Bare Necessities, sung by Phil Harris and Bruce Reitherman. That's Baloo and Mowgli. And written by Terry Gilkyson.
I thought you were going to say Gilliam.
No, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. No, I think that is one of the most iconic Disney songs. It's my favorite song in that movie, and it's catchy as all get out. It's an earworm, is what they call that. Sticks in your ear.
Not the version by Bill Murray?
Do you not like The Bare Necessities, Josh?
I don't like the Jungle Book.
At all?
Why? I've said why I don't like the Jungle, like why I don't like Tarzan. I don't like monkeys.
Oh, you don't like monkeys.
And monkeys are in the jungle. Monkeys play a heavy
So
scene
why do you like
jungle.
Aladdin then?
I don't like Aladdin that much.
Why do you like Lion King? There's a monkey in that. Rafiki.
I don't like. He's a baboon.
Which is the monkey?
I don't. He's a primate. I don't like.
Oh my gosh.
He's a primate. He's just whatever. I really don't like Rafiki. Rafiki's my least favorite character in that movie. I like the 3 hyenas better than I like Rafiki.
That's fine.
He's like, I'm like, whatever, bro, shut up.
Man, so mean about the monkeys.
Oh, I hate them.
He's got the monkeys. I see the monkeys.
Oh, God, no. That did not make my list.
Sorry, go.
My number 2 this was a toughie. Of all the songs from Disney's Hercules that could have been at number 2, I went with Meg's song, Can't Say I'm in Love.
Yep.
Or I won't say I'm in love.
Yeah, I won't say I'm in love.
Yeah.
That would be my pick too. That's
close second on that list.
Love it.
Was Zero to Hero. Because I love Zero to Hero.
But then there's Go the Distance.
My only problem with Go to Distance is it's too short. It's like 30 seconds of singing.
Yeah, but
that's the only problem with Go to Distance.
Yeah, I think that's my.
And the first one, like what's the first song that the Muses sing?
What's it called?
That one, whatever that one is. But
yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Anyway, all of that Hercules bit totally could have been in there, but I went with Meg's just because I've listened to that more than the other ones.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I like
Thank
that.
you.
As you know, I also love the Hercules soundtrack. All in all, it is still my favorite Disney soundtrack.
Nice.
Stellar. All right, number 2.
You're number 2.
This is my one and only pick from the Renaissance years. And because I was trying to hit all the different eras, and like I said, I was trying to rank all my, like my favorite song from each movie.
Haven't done the 80s yet, so.
Well, we're about to.
Oh, okay.
So I weighed all of those fantastic Renaissance songs against one another, and to me, the one that still stands tallest and truest is really the original from Little Mermaid, Part of Your World, and Jodie Benson's performance of it, which is so perfectly emotional and passionate and also like naive and innocent. It's just wonderful. The songwriting on that is one of the things that propelled all of that movie, even back during production. Like it was one of the things that they pre-screened for people was just rough drawings and that song recording, and people were moved to tears just by that alone. And so it really kind of drove them to and encouraged those creators to know that, okay, we're onto something here. Let's build around this. And it, became, that whole soundtrack is iconic, but to me, Part of Your World is still the single best little nugget from the Renaissance era.
Okay.
I love it. All written by Menken and Ashman, who we've talked about a lot tonight. They're amazing.
Okay, before I hit my one, I've got my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So my honorable mentions start off in no particular order. I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Shocker.
Be Our Guest.
Yes.
The only really...
that's the big standout song, I think. Yeah, a lot of people would say
Bonjour,
Tale as Old as Time.
The Bonjour one's pretty.
Beauty
I like
and the
that
Beast.
one too.
Yeah.
I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Yeah, nice song.
Love that.
It's a good one.
Colors of the Wind.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very good.
The Beauty and the Beast. Prince Ali.
Mm-hmm. Good
Be
one.
Prepared.
Yes, the greatest villain song of all.
Zero to Hero.
Yes, more Hercules.
My favorite Tangled song, I See the Light.
Good pick.
Then Mother Knows Best from Tangled. I love that song so much.
Another good one. I do too.
You get this you get this sense of the character right there.
Oh yeah, she's
manipulative,
and
the manipulation and everything that she's done to Rapunzel.
Yep.
You get it right there in that one song, and you
yeah,
see so well. It's so good.
It is good.
And then this may be a shock to you,
mm-hmm.
but Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No,
I do not like The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I'm not surprised by that.
But
there's probably,
I think the Hellfire song...
You probably have a thing with gargoyles or something.
Yeah, they look like monkeys. But no, it's very like Vatican-y, almost Spanish Inquisition-y, that song.
It's dark.
And it's a
gothic.
really dark song, and it's so good.
It's
And coming as a little church boy, I see that and I'm like, ooh.
You got that.
Got the chills.
That whole gallery of
the gallery
red-robed
of
demons or something.
I think those are just
judging him.
I think those are people of the church.
Maybe. He's not in the church, and he's a judge. It's not like he's a priest or anything.
Well,
I think
back in
that's
those times,
just
judges were
judgment. I don't know. In any case, that is one of the darkest Disney scenes
I only
of
say
all.
I put that on there just because he's basically singing about how this gypsy woman, pretty much like is of the devil almost and bewitched him.
Yeah.
And so he's trying
he's
to
saying
play this off.
Either give her to me to have or kill her.
Yeah.
Is basically what he's pleading.
It's a great song.
Darkness. Yeah, that's, man.
I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Until I was like, what are Disney songs? And I was like flipping through and I was like, there's that one song that I really like. So I actually pulled the Hunchback of Notre Dame soundtrack. And I was, flipping through and I was like, no. There it is. Found it.
That's a good one, man.
So my number one was a toss-up.
Ooh.
It's Disney's The Lion King.
Okay.
Now the toss-up was what the song was going to be.
Right. Since that's what we're picking.
I did not go... Well, but it was the song for The Lion King. Was I going to go...
which Lion King song?
Was I going to go Elton John? Or am I going to go the song that sets up the movie? Like, literally...
It is the greatest opening song of all
The opening song, and
Disney.
it sets the whole tone for the movie.
Yep.
I went with the Elton John, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Circle of Life. It was this close.
Very close,
And if you look, Circle of Life was number one until we started this, and I used your red pen to swap them out. That's Circle of Life.
Game time decision.
Made it all day until
man.
We sat down.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight gets the starting slot from the head coach, Josh Kane.
Do you want to know why Can You Feel the Love Tonight won?
It's a love song.
It's a love song.
Oh, and
it's
there's lion licking.
And there's a lion lick. That's the whole reason right there it won. We got that lion lick.
Good pick, Josh. Nice. Okay, so my honorable mentions in no particular order are Bella Notte from Lady and the Tramp. Classic.
Is that the one where they eat spaghetti?
Yeah, and they eat the one noodle and they kiss.
Oh.
It's so adorable.
Puppy dog kiss.
A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes from Cinderella. My Lion King song is Hakuna Matata. I know you're not a big Timon and Pumbaa guy, but to me that's the most delightful song in there. I love it. Colors of the Wind I also picked, although Around the River Bend was really close for me. That's a really good one too. Reflection from Mulan. If I Didn't Have You from Monsters, Inc., which I adore. It's only an instrumental in the movie, but in the credits, John Goodman and Billy Crystal sing the lyrics to it, and it's delightful. I love it. Also, the Podcateers do a cover version of it, and it's quite good as well. Shout out to the Podcateers. Once Upon a Dream from Sleeping Beauty, which that's a cheat because it's Tchaikovsky's Sleeping Beauty waltz. They just gave words to it, and Tchaikovsky's a straight up genius. So I didn't include that one because they only wrote the words. Be Our Guest from tonight's movie, Beauty and the Beast. Fantastic movie.
So far, our honorable mentions are pretty similar.
Yeah, they are. Although I have a lot of older ones than you do. So, like this next one from Robin Hood, Not in Nottingham, which is a beautiful, sad, poignant song.
One.
Yeah, but I love it. It's great. My Aladdin pick is A Whole New World.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jasmine, Aladdin, you, and Liam.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I picked Go the Distance from Hercules. I See the Light from Tangled, and I don't care. The song still stands up. Let It Go from Frozen. That's an honorable mention for me. It's a fantastic song. I don't care. It's a fantastic song.
All right.
I don't think the movie's that great, but that song is great. Okay, so my number one is the Disney theme song.
Yeah, it's only because
it's from my very favorite Disney movie, Pinocchio, from 1940, sung by Cliff Edwards, written by Lee Harley and Ned Washington, none other than When You Wish Upon a Star. And that is, to me, the song that sets the tone for all of the Disney music. I mean, it basically gives you.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, I mean, it kind of was the tone for the home video thing.
Look forward to.
But I mean, I just feel like it really kind of sets the bar for all of the wonderful, hopeful, wishful, magical things that we're going to write in Disney songs for decades to come. And I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I love the vocal performance on it. It's just so heartfelt. And it is very much of its time. You know, the 40s is like a different world completely. But I don't know. There's something universal about it as well that comes through today. And I still find that music and that movie totally captivating and legitimate and masterful.
When did that movie come out?
1940.
During the war.
Yes. Yes. We weren't in it yet, though.
No.
So.
We waited until December of the next year.
Yeah. Infamous. Anyway, on a very dark note.
Bro,
are we going to end? What? Come on.
But no, yeah. We would like to. I want to thank Gavin. Got to thank all the listeners for the Thanks giveaway. I want to thank all of our listeners too, in all of the countries.
Yeah, we're in lots of countries.
Our wonderful listeners in the United States.
Yep.
Canada.
Yep.
Our wonderful listeners in Germany, the UK. Our Aussies out there.
Lots of Aussies
we got
listening.
Lots of Aussies.
Yeah, they're our strongest contingent outside of the U.S., I believe, right?
Yes.
Nice.
It goes.
What is it? Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We know stuff.
Yeah,
Argentina's on the list.
Argentina's on the list. Israel is on the list.
Yes, Israel.
Iran's
on the list too.
On
yes.
List.
Wow.
What else is there? We've got some other.
Is there one other country?
Well, the thing says 2 under other countries.
Oh yeah,
so
it doesn't
we
define
can't see what those
so
other
it could
countries
be
are.
Fiji.
So you other countries out there.
It could be Luxembourg.
Pretty sure it would show Luxembourg.
You think so?
Probably.
I mean, it's just a city-state, so maybe.
I'm sure it would show Liechtenstein.
Maybe.
Shout out to everyone in Liechtenstein.
I don't know. It could be the moon. I mean, we don't know. It just says other regions, right? It doesn't even say.
Oh, it does say regions.
Terrestrial.
Maybe
countries.
It's our Antarctic person.
Oh, I hope it's a scientist in an Arctic lab.
That would be cool.
Or Antarctic lab.
Yeah, Arctic's up north.
Yeah, are there any Arctic labs? I just know the ones on Antarctica.
I mean, there's the North Pole.
Well, that's Santa's workshop. That's not a lab.
Santa's not real, Gavin. You're supposed to go, what? They'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry.
So, are we going to tell everybody that, psych, they need to actually go back and listen to the whole episode to get the giveaway winner?
Yeah, we put it somewhere in the episode, guys. You're going to have to find it.
Made you listen.
All right. My name's Josh. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane.
My name's Gavin. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Gavin Audison Art.
You can find the podcast on Instagram at Animation Station Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Animate Podcast, on the World Wide Web at worldwideweb.animationstationpodcast.com. You can find us on Tumblr.
Yeah.
I am going to go after Tumblr.
No, don't go look for us on Tumblr. There's nothing there.
Yeah, you can tumble us. No, all of our Instagram posts go through Tumble.
Oh, they do?
They get tumbled. They
tumble
around that dryer.
Oh, there we go.
That's at Animation Station Podcast.
Nice.
And you can find all of our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play.
Everywhere, basically. You can't miss us, people.
And be sure and listen to our other awesome podcasts. Shaun of the Gathering, Getting into Comics with Tim Page, which, who knows? Maybe he'll come back to it.
I think both of those are kind of like on hiatus right now, right?
Yeah.
But they have their full catalogs available? Is
Yes.
that right? So you can still listen to their episodes?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially like getting into Tim Page with comics.
Yeah.
Getting into comics with
Getting
Tim
into
Page.
Tim.
Go see our awesome friends Liam DeCosmo and Brittany DeCosmo at Cloud City Cast.
Cloud City Cast. They give you lots of content. 3 episodes a week. It's ridiculous.
My goodness.
Yes.
But I hear it may be getting a bit too much for them. They may be going to 2 episodes a week.
Just when you bury the hatchet.
I know.
Lame.
All right, guys. So, for the Animation Station podcast.
You always sound worn out when you close. You're just like, oh, well, for the Animation podcast.
For the Animation Station podcast, guys, I'm Josh, and you guys have a great day.
Much better.
I hate you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And join the conversation at secretsuperheroclub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.